So before we begin, I'd like to give a thanks to people who have been leaving fucking reviews on the iTunes. Thanks for taking the time. So we got Chino Garcia Jr. Shout out to you, man. Thank you. And it says, iron sharpens iron. Free thinking, honest, and from the raza. We need more of this. Thank you very much. Another one, short but sweet, is TTV. Thank you. And it says here, he likes episode 36. Excellent podcast. So thank you very much for that. And before we begin, also, I'd like to thank the Patreoners, because this fucking podcast is funded by you, the listener. So everyone who's been signing up, I really appreciate it. Anybody who shares it, anybody who tells their friends about it, because with you, it's growing. So thank you very much. So if you guys want to join the Patreon, it comes with perks. You get merch, stickers, you get access to there's podcasts that no one else can listen to unless they're on the Patreon, and also you get access to early access to the episodes that come out. Some people have to wait about a week, 2 weeks sometimes. If they're done, I release them there first, and then that way there's perks with it. You get shout outs too. For example, here we go. We got from San Diego, the Emo Brown crew. We got shout out Shamps. Shout out El Glasses. Glasses is the latest member that joined, so thank you very much for that. Also, we got Eddie Munoz. Thank you for your continued patronship. And last but not least, this guy gives me a lot of support, man. I never met him before in my life, but he gives me a lot of fucking support. And that is Lopez Avila. So thank you very much, Lopez Avila, for listening, for sharing, for being a Patreon. I really appreciate it. So this next episode is with Young Beavez Comedy. Very, very cool individual, man. I just met him, and we just fucking just hit it off. Just kept talking like I knew him and shit. Really, really cool, really comfortable. And he's got a really cool story, and he's really switching his life around for the positive. So give him a follow. It's Young Beavez Comedy, and he's always having comedy shows coming up. So when you follow him, you're gonna see all the events and all the dates that he shares out there. So without any further ado, here's the episode. Check it out. Welcome everyone to another episode of Ranting with Ramos. I'm your host, Jose Ramos. Today, my special guest is Young Beavez. Young Beavez, how you doing, man?
I'm right here chilling. What's up, yo, everybody? How's everybody doing today?
Yeah, so how we want to talk about like your early life and shit, how it was growing up and all that. So like, what city did you grow up in?
So I was actually born in the city of LA. So I'm a fucking General Hospital baby. But I was raised in the city of Baldwin Park, California. Oh, and, you just got started off right there,
Yeah, that's why I was born there too, man. I guess you're first generation?
Yeah, first generation.
Yeah, you know what I tell people is like, think because like, that was the only accessible fucking hospital, you know? Yeah, that's where I was fucking born, man.
That or Martin Luther King. No,
yeah, just like in that fucking movie, Born in East LA. We were born in East LA.
Yeah, literally.
It's fucking East LA. Yeah. And so your whole life you grew up there in Baldwin Park?
So I grew up in Baldwin Park until I was like maybe 11. That's my teenage years, and that's when I graduated and went to like pretty much just jail and shit. I got moved to a different facility. Yeah, no, I graduated in jail.
Oh, okay.
I got a GED and a high school diploma under there.
Okay, that's cool,
so
man.
It wasn't completely useless.
Yeah.
Made some shit out of it.
Yeah. But, and then how long were you like in YA and all that?
Okay, so I went to first I went to foster care. I went to placement, juvenile hall. I went to camp like Camp Rocky, Camp Lancaster. Yeah. I mean Challengers Lancaster. Then I went to YA. I was in YA for like 6 years. It was a little while.
And like what kind of crimes, like robbery?
So yeah, I've done like robberies, strong arm robberies. Well, because when you're little, you're like not really dedicated to crimes like that. You develop. Yeah. So little by little, you start like as you graduate in age, you gradually become more of a criminal. So like it's like. First, you start off with like bullshit as violations, and kicking it, drinking in public, but then you actually start committing crime. Strong arm robberies, fucking car. Like I actually went to YA for carjacking.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so that's the reason why they sent me to YA, because they're like, fuck it, like, they can't keep this fool in camp.
So the YA is like the next one?
So YA, if anybody doesn't know what YA is like a prison for kids. You know, they're actually already shutting them down. There's only like 2 or 3 left from what I hear, because it was deemed like a failure. Because it was supposedly designated to help kids and like rehabilitate them. But what they were doing is the setup they at first had started was by ages. Like OH Close and Nellis was for little kids between like 11 to like 13, 14, 15. And then 16, 17 was Paso Robles and different YAs like that. And then you go to Chad, Preston when you're over 18. But YA got so crowded because they're just sending they were sending a lot of people for real violent crimes, and then some people that weren't that violent. So just imagine all that mixture of people in like in a room. You know, you have a robber with a rapist. Because when you go to prison, you have like designated areas. Like the sex offenders will never be around the regular people, GP. But in YA, everybody's together. Oh shit! Yeah, everybody's together.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah. So
that's crazier than jail, huh?
It's way so. At least in prison, they have that designated. Like SNYs are over here, GPs over here. You'll never see a rapist. Like everybody's separate. Like the cops know. But in YA, they were understaffed, underpaid, and overworked. You know, a lot of these cops were like fucking working doubles and super tired. Like you could tell because people. And then the thing is, we have so many kids. There was like in my unit, there was like easy like 120 kids, and there was like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's say 10 units. That's like 1,000 kids almost. Just in Nellis where I was at Whittier.
Oh, okay. Exactly. You know, they fucking took me on a field trip there twice to like Scared Straight and shit.
Oh yeah,
with my homies. And like because I grew up in Sangra, so one of my homies he was in the gang Rascal, and they fucking some Sureños came out. Hey, you're a fucking Southsider. Yeah, if you're a fucking Sureño, drop down and give me 13 push-ups, right? And he did that shit, and you're not supposed to.
Yeah, you're not supposed
to do what the fuck somebody tells you.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? So, oh, you're a bitch and shit. And they're punking them, dude. And then there was like some big ass Samoan fool, because I was pretty big at the time, but I wasn't even gangbanging. I was just backing it up, and I was kicking it with them. But they sent me too, right?
Yeah.
And some big ass Samoan. He's like, you know what? I'm in here because I killed a Mexican. I'm gonna breath smell like tuna and shit. They're trying to scare me. Like, you go there twice. And it was crazy because there's some fools that were like look like adults already. Yeah, because they
mustaches and everything.
Yeah,
well, the thing was, there was kids that were like say 13, 14 where I went, and then there was 25-year-olds. Because you could be in YA till you're 25. So just imagine a 25-year-old man's strength against a kid's strength.
Oh yeah.
You know, you can't compare that shit.
Fuck no.
And we're all boxing. That's the thing about anybody who's been in YA knows like non-stop fighting all day long.
But right there, it's still like the fucking gangs, right? It's
exactly. When you go to YA, it's all gangbanging, especially like down south. It's like you gotta just straight smash on your enemy. And the thing is, if you have the more homies you have, the better off you are. Yeah. Because you know majority number rules. You know. Yeah. So little barrios like my barrio was like straight outnumbered. You know. But I still went out there and I did my thing. You know. Because I like I said, I grew up in the system, so I knew what the system was about. You know, like the system was about not letting the system beat you, whether it was physically, mentally, emotionally. You know, even though like there was days I'd be like, fuck, man, I'm tired. You know, like I knew I had to keep going. You know.
Yeah, you know what? I heard that before from someone else too. What you're saying, like fucking, like you're thinking, like, fuck, I'm a little kid, and they fucking have me locked up in a fucking cage. I'm gonna be a fucking animal. I'm gonna fucking, you gotta be fucking lit up 24/7 and shit.
It does, and see, that's what I was just pretty much discussing with my wife recently. Because let's say, for instance, the more instead of teaching you how to like fix your problems or giving you access to mental health, they're just throwing you. Or locking you up in this cage or putting you in another cage, or just pretty much making you mingle. Let's say if you just went for, let's say, a probation violation, but you're sold up with me and I got busted for bank robbery, what's gonna happen?
You're gonna teach me. I'm gonna learn from you.
I'm gonna teach you how to fucking be a bank robber. And let's say you do fraud. I'm like, oh shit, well, how do you do fraud? And then all they're doing is making better criminals. That's why they say that 99% of people that went to YA recommit. You know, and especially like in the I really strongly believe that shit was just designated for us minorities. Yeah. Because if you look at it, anybody that was born in the 80s, 90s, early 2000s, a little bit, was going straight to juvenile hall, going to prison, because their ultimatum was to throw us in prison. Yeah. That's where we landed.
From the beginning, huh?
From the beginning.
It was already set up like that.
Because we're money.
Yeah. You know? Yeah. You know, I have a couple of homies that, they fucking, You know, I got one that's in jail, locked up right now. There's one that's on the run. There's a couple homies that went in and out. So yeah, and they're at a young age too, man. You know,
that's all they know.
Yeah, that's all they know, man.
Exactly. And then the drugs get involved, and that's the thing.
One was for the drugs. Yeah.
Exactly. The thing is, they even know, like, when you go to prison, like, more than half of the population there is for drugs. There's a certain percentage that are violent or for murder and all that shit. But if they did commit a murder or a robbery, it was for drugs. Everything's behind drugs.
Yeah,
you know?
to get the drugs,
Exactly. So what they should do is, instead of building more prisons, because we have so many prisons, there's so many jails, private jails, but they should be building, like, rehabilitation programs or offering us a fucking book. You know, like, they don't give you like where I go to, like, level 4, level 3 prisons, you don't get to go to certain programs, you know, because you're always slammed down, you know. And then when you go to board, you know, these people have this crazy ass list of stuff you have to do to go home. Yeah. And then they're like, well, you haven't been doing shit. And I'm like, well, bitch, I've been in lockdown for like a year.
They make it impossible.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and the thing what people don't understand is, if you make it impossible for me to do something right, well, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna do what I do best. I'm gonna go back to doing bad, selling drugs. You know, that's why I feel like us, even as Latinos, we people come here and they're like, oh, the Mexicans just rapists and drug dealers. Well, really look at it. If you were to offer him the opportunity to work a legit job, he wouldn't have to sell drugs. Yeah. You know?
Right.
There wouldn't be no need. But Mexicans or like any other race sees the need, we fucking supply.
Find a way to
exactly.
Yeah. And the fucked up thing is, like, even like, you know, the system is built to for us to be in jail.
Fail.
And they're the motherfuckers that brought the drugs into the fucking neighborhoods.
They introduce it. It, whether it's in or out of the system or in the system. It's like that, and it's a fucked up system. It's a fucked up system because they're pretty much setting it up to where you're always gonna keep coming back. You know, like, I've been out for, I think, 6 years, and I'm barely gonna be able to get a good job. You know, majority of people would have already quit, started selling drugs again, or doing some crazy shit. But you have to really be dedicated to wanting to do good. You know.
Yeah.
And now there's more programs. Like there's there's I don't know what the name of the program's in East LA, but they offer parolees like construction jobs, union jobs, you know. So it's legit, you know. There's more programs now, but I feel like there still has to be more help, you know, and just us help ourselves too. Also,
yeah, that's the main thing, dude.
Yeah, because a lot of people don't want.
Yeah, they just want to fucking depend on the government just because they're not helping us. You're gonna keep fucking up when it's like they don't give a fuck if you fuck up or not. They want you to fuck up because they want you to come back.
Okay, but what it is it's a mental thing. It goes back to the mentality, you know, because people say, "Oh, you got used to that." Well, how could you not? You know, if you really think about it, the average person is not meant to live in a fucking 6x9 cell.
No.
You have to adapt, you know, like most people are claustrophobic, you know. So if you have to adapt to that, you get used to like eating whatever they feed you, eating at a certain time, going to sleep, and that fucks up your mental state. That's why when you get out, you have so many people that are strung out on dope, strung out on heroin, because they can't function.
Your fucking mind is trained like that already. And our mind, they say that we're creatures of habit. You do the same shit over and over and over and over.
Exactly.
Fuck, yeah, man. I never thought about it like that, man. But yeah, like my homeboy was telling me that he has a couple homeboys that came out already and they're having a hard time adjusting.
Because
it's like, fuck, like it's really hard. And then too, how it is now where everyone's like real fucking sensitive, but everyone thinks they're crazy too. Like they're all crazy and shit, you know? And all of a sudden they'll call the cops on you, you know? So like, fuck, like what do you do?
That's more accepted now. But you know what it is just the generations of ours. Like, just let's say the criminal environment, the criminal element. It just little by little just transcended to where it's transparent now. You know, we're supposed to transcend because every criminal group, let's just say, you know, because we can't go into detail, is gonna adapt and evolve, whether it's in a good way or a bad way. But now it's the era of let's call the cops. Now it's the era of like neighborhood watch,
or even snitching on themselves. Themselves doing the shit. Like, what the fuck would you do that? Like you're snitching yourself out.
People don't think about it. And the thing what people have to understand is like whether you're a criminal or a non-criminal, you can't do what you used to do like in the 90s. Back in the 90s, you could shoot the whole house up and get away with it. Now you can't even like light up a firework because neighborhood watch.
Or you're gonna fight.
Exactly. Somebody's gonna record. The city fucking cam's gonna get you. You know, somebody fucking probably has Governor Newsom's fucking Newsom's fucking
his fucking phone.
Yeah, they're gonna call him fighting right here. You know.
Yeah, that's what I noticed too. Like, man, like for me, like somebody's like, I mean, I don't really a gang member or nothing like that, but when I'll be walking around the streets and you know, fools mad dog me, I just laugh at them. I just laugh at them because like, dude, you get in a fight, they're gonna call the cops and you're gonna fucking lose your job. It's not even worth it, man. So like someone like you who came from that environment where you're like, fuck it, it's time to get down. I'm gonna fight. How fucking difficult is it to turn that off?
it's hard. It's hard because it's like second nature, you know. But you have to, you know, because you have to really think about it. Like I got 2 strikes, you know, so I could never carry a gun. I could never do nothing. And if I do something, I have to make sure that it's something I'm gonna hold accountable. I'm gonna hold myself with it. You know, they say like when you're walking on thin ice, you might as well just slide on that motherfucker, dance on that shit. Yeah. And that's what I feel like I am, because that's how California got me. Like automatically, since I have 2 strikes, like let's say if I just steal this water bottle right here, they're gonna get me for the crime, which is let's say a year. Since I got 2 strikes, I got to do 80% of my time, because that's the way it works. So if you have strikes, you have to do 80% of your time. If you have no strikes, you do 50%. So since I have strikes, boom, I'm gonna do 2 years for just the bottle I'm stealing. Plus, they're gonna give me a year for 1 strike, then another year for the bottle. So just for stealing 1 water bottle, I'm gonna do 4 fucking years at 80%. So I'm gonna be busting out 3 years for a fucking water bottle. Yeah, it's like they set you up for failure. You know?
And it's but you knowing that, you know that shit's not worth it, and that's why you're still working.
Exactly.
And fucking trying to.
You gotta keep yourself busy, but it's hard because the thing is, you have to understand, we're like you said, creatures of habit, and your mind is trained to respond. Like say, in prison or jail, whatever, the first response you have is violence. Obviously, you have to practice diplomacy, because you have to be diplomatic. You have to be able to hold a decent conversation. You have to know how to carry yourself in a respectful demeanor. You know. But
at the same time, let them know that you're what you're about. Like,
exactly. Because people have this certain image of like prison, like, oh, it's the craziest, but it's not. It's nothing how they portray it. Yeah, bad shit happens. Yeah, crazy shit happens. Yeah, people die. But it's not like everybody, or it doesn't happen to everybody. I know people that have gone to prison and never got involved in nothing. You know, like, I'm not saying go to prison. I'm just saying, either way, why would you want to put yourself in that situation? You know, like if there's people who already are going through it, like just take that as an example. Like this was life's already fucked. You know, because you're never gonna be the same. You know, you're those walks of life are always gonna be with you. Whether it's your young age, teenage age, like that stays with me forever. Like.
You know what you just said right now about the learning from other people. Like I heard a quote. It was like fucking like smart people learn from their mistakes, but wise people learn from other people's mistakes. So like you see someone else fucking up, and you see, you know, so that really makes a lot of sense. Like if that shit hit me, like fuck yeah, you know. But so like so it took 6 years for them to clear, for you to like, is it like a certain level that you're gonna get hired anywhere?
So the way it works is state of California goes 10 years from your last commitment offense. So my last commitment offense was 2010. So this year, 2020 finished, so 21 started. So now I could get like a real job, like Coca-Cola, Pepsi.
Oh shit!
Yeah, I could get a decent job, because I got a good job reference. Like I know how to do CNC, I know how to do electrical. Like I'm good with my hands. But since of my criminal background and my crimes, nobody will fucking hire me. Because one, I have a kidnapping on me, which they dropped to false imprisonment. And I have a carjacking, strong arm robbery, and then if you look at my prison jacket, it's just assault. You know,
all that shit shows up.
All that shit shows up. So that's why I always, like, when I go to interviews and I see them just looking at me, I'm like, I'm just gonna get up and walk. Because it makes you feel like shit. You know, like
you're already wasting your fucking time.
The way looking at you. I mean, they say it in a nice way. They'll be like, we found some discrepancies in your fucking, and I'll be like, fuck. That's like fuck you to the face, you know.
You know already. But now, does that stuff get kind of fucking, what do they call it, expunged, or they erase it?
You have to go back. So the way that goes is you have to go back to the commitment offense. So my committing court was in Rancho Cucamonga, because I got busted on some crazy shit. So I had to go back and then ask them to expunge it and go through this big old process. It's not like you could just be like, hey, hook it up. They still want something out of it, you know.
Like, is there like a fee and shit, or?
I never looked into it, because this is the longest I've been out of my life.
So
this is the first time I'm actually gonna be like eligible for that, you know.
What prisons have you been?
So I've been in like the jails that I've been in is I've been in Corcoran Shoe. I've been to Tehachapi Shoe, Centinela. I've been in Tracy, Delano. There's Delano, and then I've been in New Delano. You know, so I've been in different joints. You know. But like the thing about me is like I always get snatched up when I go to the shoe, you know, because of just the stupid shit that I get involved. You know, it happens. You know, you're like deemed a threat to just population. You know, because it could be the way that people think is like when you go to prison, they think it's like this crazy full tattoo on the face. It's gonna stab 30 people, but that's not the people that they're validating. They're not looking for those people.
Yeah, because those are obvious.
Exactly. They're looking for the little guy that's like playing chess, or the guy who's fucking, you know, walking around the yard, power walking. Those are the crazy motherfuckers. You have to understand that it's not what society portrays the criminal to look like, you know, with a scar on his face. It's nothing like that. You know, it's the people who you least expect.
Yeah, because usually the ones that are in power they're not in power because of a fucking muscle, because of the fucking mind. They're so powerful they can fucking make you do certain things and shit. You know,
well, it's just because of, you know how they say, like, I'll give an example. Charles Manson. Charles Manson never. I actually was busted with him in Corcoran.
He was there.
Yeah, exactly. So trip on. So I'll tell you a story about this fool. So everybody used to call him Charlie. Everybody hated him. The fucking white boys hated him. The homies had him on sight. So the cops used to let us go over there just to like throw the food, like literally, because he had his own tier. You know, this fool was so manipulative because he'd been busted forever, you know? And they said that every, like, so often they'll have to switch out the juras because this fool would, like, start getting into the juras' mind. Yeah, and it's crazy because he read this book and I read it and I was like, Jesus Christ.
Is it the Helter Skelter?
No. It was called it's by Dale Carnegie, How to Win Friends and Become, how to make friends and become, how to make friends and influence people.
That title sounds familiar. Heard of that shit before.
Fucking crazy ass book. It sounds stupid as fuck. I swear to God.
I should download that shit because like I got those audiobooks. I just fucking listen to.
Fucking crazy. Like it literally like I'll give you an example. Like in the book, you start reading it, right? You're just like, stupid ass book. But when you trip out on the stuff it says, like I'll give you an example. Like majority of us, we see somebody fucking up, we call them out on it.
Yeah.
He says never to do that. He says when somebody's fucking up, like let them know they're messing up, but first compliment them. Like, hey, Jose, you know what? I love your audio equipment. Everything works good. But maybe you should fix this. So I'm like literally like slapping you, but complimenting you. So you don't see it as
because it comes from like a good place and shit.
Exactly.
You give me a compliment first.
Exactly. So it's called always letting the person keep face.
Yeah.
So never embarrass the person.
Damn, that's good, man.
It gives you different lessons. Like always remember a person's first name. You know, just different things. You know, and like I said, I always love to read in there. Because like I said, you're a prisoner. To me, what I learned since I've been in jail so long is that even though your body is physically imprisoned, your mind can be free, and then nothing can stop you. Yeah.
That's what I'm gonna tell you, man. Your mind can go anywhere, especially with a book.
Exactly. And the thing is, a lot of people don't master that. Okay, so it's a fucked up thing, but it's a good thing. It's a fucked up thing because now you know you can function under any circumstance in jail. You know, but then so
then that makes you comfortable.
Exactly. That's what I was gonna say. So the people who don't get comfortable are people who don't come back. But say, you know, people like me, like I could sit somewhere and they could take all my fucking clothes and I could be naked in the yard, which it's happened to me. And I could just be like, fuck it, I'm good. I'm just gonna be good. I'm just close my eyes and just focus on something, and my mind will take me out of there. You know? Like there was a situation where, like, because the cops are shady. The cops are fucking shady as fuck. Some shit had happened, and they retaliate worse than we do, you know, because they obviously have the authority and the power, you know, the access to do it. So they take all our fucking shit, all our fucking property, and they throw it in the middle of the day room. And you know, anybody who's been in prison knows day room's big as fuck. So all our property's in the middle of the day room. And the only thing we're left with in our fucking cells is a mattress. And at the time I'm in Tehachapi, and it's super cold right there. Tehachapi is like by Bakersfield up that way, so it snows. So imagine you don't have nothing, you're just cold. So what we started doing, because my celly was freezing, I'm like, fool, fuck that. Like, I'm not gonna die. Like, I go into survival mode. Like, we have to fucking survive, fool. So we start fucking ripping our mattresses, and we go in there like if they're sleeping bags.
Oh shit.
And they're itchy as fuck, but I said, fuck it, I'd rather be itchy
and warm.
Yeah, exactly. So it teaches you to do shit, you know, like sometimes fucked up shit, but in the end you use that to survive. Exactly.
Damn. But and then that thing has a lot of effects on your mind, man, because
it fucks up your mind.
It fucks up your mind, because then also makes it seem like, you know, you get used to being in there because you're not bothered by it, because your mind can take you anywhere, you know.
Exactly.
It's powerful.
Exactly. Which if you would have done it for the positive, it would have been so much better. But the fucked up thing is that you didn't. You know, let's say for instance me, like I was so embedded in that like, see, because majority of people are in there like super high or fucked up. I've never touched a single drug or alcohol when I'm in there.
Oh shit.
So I'm super sober. So I'm like 24/7, like fucking like alert status, you know. And that shit takes a toll on you, you know. Like, so that's why now, like, I drink, or I have to be under the influence of something. Not every day, but just just to shut my mind down, like to give it a break. Like, okay, you could relax, you could be vulnerable.
Yeah.
You know, because in there you can't. You know, you can't even fucking hug somebody. You know, because you get all like, what the fuck, who's gonna stab me, or why is he getting so close to me? You know, but in here when you drink, out here you're just like, hey, come here, bro. You know, and you miss that.
Yeah. Because in there you can't show that shit. Is that like a sign of weakness, or because you're so paranoid someone's gonna fucking?
You just the people who've been there long enough, let's say, like me, they won't even share a fucking cup with you because they'll be like, oh, this is gonna poison me, or you know, they just think weird shit. And obviously you're not gonna say it, but it's just you in the back of your mind. You're like, oh, what's up with this fool? Like, baby, you never know. And then you start reading body language, and then the more you read, like I read a book on body language, and I was like, man, it's the best thing ever. But then now that I know it, I'm just like, fuck this, what's he up to? Like, why is he keep grabbing his waist? Or,
you see people and shit.
Yes, you start reading too much. You read too much into it,
and it even makes you like more paranoid.
Exactly.
Like one thing, like with my kids, I teach them, like whenever we go somewhere, always be scoping people out. That motherfucker shouldn't be there. Or I gotta tell my wife, like, hey, if there's a motherfucker in the women's clothes, what the fuck is he doing there?
Yeah,
you always gotta be paying attention.
You never know.
I said, look for a weapon, like a loose rock, something, an exit. Always, you know, you gotta always be ready. You know? So my kids are always ready. Like, look at that fool right there. Okay.
See, that's good that you're telling them, because most kids don't know. You know, they don't know, and then they're vulnerable, and then there's the kids that bad happens to them.
Because they don't know, you know.
They don't know. Somebody doesn't take the time to tell them.
Yeah, and like my kids, like they didn't grow up like me. I was in the streets, so fucking 24/7. I kind of had them sheltered and shit, you know, because I don't know how fucked up it is now, you know. But at least I teach them those kind of little things.
So they keep a lookout for it.
Yeah, keep a lookout.
They know how to spot it out. Like, oh shit. That's good though. And we did it. We didn't get that.
You just learned that shit.
We just learned in the streets. Like, what is this? What crack is? Let me try it.
Yeah. So you got any stories from like when you were locked up? Like any?
So pretty much what I want to talk about is how pretty much, let's say for instance, like the average kid, you know, like say me, we grew up and we got thrown in that, and like say the youth authority, you know, and for many people it was like a crazy experience, you know. And to me, the youth authority is what molded me to where I became, you know, to where I got, you know. And even though it was in a negative outlook and in a negative environment, like I thank God every day that I went through it, because it gave me like the power and endurance. Even though it kind of did fuck me up a little bit, like I feel like it didn't fuck me up to the point where it overpowers me, you know, whether it could be like my paranoidness or like whatever it may be, you know, issues I have, whatever. Like I know that I was strong enough to endure it, you know, because like I said, most people wouldn't have been able to go through it, you know. And it's just crazy, because let's say the average kid at 16 is like going to prom and all that. Like at 16 I wasn't doing none of that, you know. I was going through some crazy shit when I was in YA, you know. And I inside I low-key had like a hatred for my people because of that. Because, you know, like as Latinos, or just as a kid, you don't want to be accepted, you know. You want the crowd that you run with to accept you, you know. So when I went to YA, like I said, my journey in YA begins when I go to Nellis, right? I have all kinds of trouble with different people, right? So and people say that they've helped me, and like I said, they say that, like I said, it's cool, but I know, and whoever was there knows, that there was certain things you couldn't do, you know. Because when I went to YA, like the group that I was with, there was certain groups that you could be with, which was like Firme Raza, Respected Black, and then there was like the Outcast, which was like Levas, Cases, and stuff like that. So if you weren't Firme Raza, you're automatically like an outcast, like Leva. And Leva in Cases meant like you were like, no disrespect to black people, but you were like segregated. Like in the 60s. Like
segregation.
Segregation. It was literally like segregation, you know. You couldn't like shit on the toilet with them. You couldn't eat with them. You were like straight like 86, you know. So me going through YA, like that's what happened to me. I go to YA at a young age, you know, and I go from camp in juvenile hall, and I'm fighting in juvenile hall, and everybody knows that I was in camp. I was fighting also in camp, you know. I was putting it down for my neighborhood, you know, because at that time, like it was like my world, my family, you know. And to this day, I still have mad love for my neighborhood. Like you said, I still just like a homie, because I love who I am, you know. I'm never gonna change. And long story short, like I thought YA was just gonna be like camp, but it was totally different. Like it was like something I never would have like imagined in my life, you know, just the setup, you know, like the way that shit was, you know, and like even to this day, like me and my wife, we just were eating hot dogs, and in YA you could never eat a hot dog straight, because if you eat a hot dog straight, that means like you're gay, like you like to suck dick, so if it's a hot dog, you have to break it in half, you have to break it in half. You know, if you get anything, a banana, you have to eat in half.
Does that still sticks with you today?
Yeah, I still do it.
Yeah.
Like my lady knows, like, boy, eat hot dogs, and I'll break it in half. And I'll be like, fuck, I wish I could eat a hot dog like
the right way.
But I'm still paranoid. You're like, oh, fuck it, you know? And it just stays with you.
It's just gonna stay with you.
Exactly, for life. And even like with the showering, when you shower in YA, you have to shower with your back to the shower. Yeah. Because if you shower with your back forward,
you're inviting somebody.
That means, hey, come get it.
Yeah.
You know, and people don't talk about it, but in YA, there was a lot of fucking raping.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people were getting raped, not only by the inmates, but there was COs, there was hooters. Yeah, it was scandalous. It was scandalous. And I found out because when I go to YA, I'm in Jackson, and I had just got into it with some black fools. My shit happened because I didn't even know. This is what's even sad. I found out on YouTube because I had done a podcast with the homie from American Cholo, and somebody went on American Cholo, Incredible Javier.
Okay.
So somebody went on Incredible Javier's podcast, and on the comments were like, "Hey, homie, like so and so was the one that orchestrated that."
Oh shit!
And he's Mexican, and I'm just like, Jesus Christ! I was just busted with that fool.
Yeah.
So imagine, but you know that's God's faith or whatever, whoever was protecting this motherfucker. Yeah. Because I would have fucking whacked him. Like if I would have known, fuck, I would have let that fool have it. So I'm just thinking in my mind, like, look at how they happened. Like I didn't know for a reason, because if I would have known, oh my God,
something would have happened.
Something would have cracked off quick, and it would have been like just another idiot off the yard.
Yeah.
You know? So that's what happens. So I fucking go to YA. I go at it with the Mexicans, and my problem was because I had enemies that were just bigger than my gang, you know? And the whole thing is, like, I can't even blame them. And even now, like, now I go to Incredible Javier's podcast, and I don't hold animosity towards him, Monte, Puente, nobody. Why? Because I know we were little kids, you know? And this is what you were taught, you know? These little kids were taught by older kids, hey, you have to, like, oppress your enemies. You have to smash on your enemies. So that's what they were doing to me. You know, they didn't know no better. But the thing was that there was very few people. Like in my thing, what happened to me, only 3 people survived that ever in like YA. Only 3 of us. Fuck. You know, and now it's only me because 2 of the other guys are PC now. They're no good. Like, it's
shit.
it. You know, so that's why when people hear my story, they're just like, damn, that's crazy, because people don't talk about it. And even me, for years, I never talked about it. People knew about it, but they would just not mention it because I was well respected in YA. And then when I transited to county and prison, it was like unspoken. You couldn't speak on it, you know, because that was like for me, I could retaliate on that, you know, like you can't speak up on another person like that, you know. So my journey starts there in YA, and I'm going at it with all these fools, right? And so that day, like I said, they're pretty much, what happened in YA is like, and the thing is, they're using fear, because everything's controlled by fear. United States, everybody's like, you know, turn or burn. Everybody is like, violence is the answer, but people don't want to accept it. It is what it is. But so that's what they use. They control you with fear. So in YA, these black folks come up to me and they're like, hey, you know what? Because I already had gotten into it with the Mexicans, and the black folks are like, hey, you know what? If you're gonna survive, you know, you need to go under our guns. And I'm just like, what the fuck are you talking about? And he's like, well, you know, that means that we're gonna take care of you. You're gonna be like PC, pretty much. Yeah. You know, now when you're older, it's PC, but back then it's like a case. Yeah. And I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, even though I don't know exactly what he's talking about, I just know it's not right. I'm just like, I don't need nobody to take care of me. Like, I'm cool. And he goes, yeah, you ain't gonna survive. And you see all those guys right there, and it's crazy because that's when it really hit me. Like, I'm sitting in these fucking chairs, and in like away in these tables, let's say like this over there, there's metal tables, and that's where like all the outcasts are at. Like they can't even watch TV. You can't. Like, everything is for like separate. You can't watch the clothes right there. Yeah, it's fucking sad. It's fucked up because all these people that were here, like the Firma Raza and the Respected Black, they would, let's say, they'll just have days, they'll be like, let's go case bashing. Damn. So that means they would all get together and go fucking beat these fools up for no reason, but just to install fear.
But why weren't you a part of that group though?
Okay, because what happened with the Firma Raza is because when I came into YA, right, bam, I pull up to YA, so my enemies were like deep. there was predominantly, like, I don't get along with 18th Street, Monteflores,
Yeah.
Puente, Azusa, big gangs like that.
So, because I know in Baldwin Park, there's North Side Bowling, East Side Bowling.
Exactly, not from Northside.
Okay.
So we don't get along with
With the
18th
East,
Street. We don't get along with fucking Monteflores. We don't get along with Puente. Like, now it's like, I don't care, you know,
Yeah.
because we went to prison. Plus, I'm older, you know?
Yeah.
But at that
the
time,
gangbanging days and shit.
exactly, that shit was
Yeah.
super hard. It's like, you know, you die for that shit.
Yeah.
So I go to YA, and obviously when I go, they're like, "Where you from?" And I was like, "I'm from Northside." They're like, "Oh, what the fuck?" So they go and they tell these fools from Flores, the fool from
shit.
Puente. Plus, there was another guy right there that was from Monrovia, which was like super respected in that YA. Like, he was a legend, though. Yeah, he was a legend. He had been busted. He was a 6'9" number, which is like an old ass number. So when they find out, they're like, "Hey, well, you know what? Like, homies, you know, we ain't having it. Like, you ain't gonna be firme raza." And I'm just like, what the fuck, my friend? And it's weird. And this is what I want to talk about in my book, because I pulled up with, it was 3 of us. My best friend became firme raza. So to see my friend become firme raza, and I can't even talk to my friend no more. I can't eat with him. I can't do nothing with him, you know? And he gets accepted, but I don't, you know?
But did he get accepted because he said, like, I don't want to be from the gang anymore?
No, he was from a different gang.
Oh, different gang, but he's your friend.
Yeah, he was from a different gang that because I know him from juvenile hall.
Yeah.
We're all friends,
Oh,
like,
okay.
growing up. So we're like, you know, when you're little, you know, when you're
Yeah,
little
you're friends,
kid,
yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
So when we pulled up, we're like, hey, fool's gonna be us 3.
But you're from different gangs. You didn't know that
Yes,
shit.
exactly.
Rival
we're from
gangs and shit.
Yeah, we're from different gangs, but
Yeah.
different area.
Yeah.
Like Compton, I was from Baldwin Park. There was another homie from a different area. So we're all thinking like we're just right together. Like, it's all good. We have each other's backs. But as soon as we get there, boom, we all get split up. You know, one becomes firme raza. I go through this bullshit, and my other partner, like, that fool went through some shit. Like, because he was firme. And what happened with him was because, so my homie stays firme, and he's still going at it with his fights, but he doesn't have that many enemies right there, so it's not as bad for him.
Yeah.
And then my other homie has one enemy. And then, like, in YA, the worst thing, it's crazy. Like, they got some stupid ass
Yeah.
rules. So you could never let somebody, like, hit you at the bottom of the shoe. Like, it's super,
Yeah,
like,
it's
frowned
like a big-
upon.
yeah.
Yeah, like, you can't, no, you know? So somebody kicks him, right? And automatically they dropped him leva. So now he's over there with me, like, at the tables, but he's fucking going through it, like, fuck,
Yeah.
man. Like, and I tell him, fool, that this is not the end of the road, fool. Like, we just gotta keep fighting harder.
Yeah.
But I see the same black fools that try to trip on me, tripping on him. And I tell him, fool, don't fucking do it. You see me, they jump me, I still fought him, fool. Like,
Yeah.
just don't show them that you're scared, fool, and they're gonna leave you alone. So he goes over there, and I'm just like, all right, he's gonna fight him. And I see one of them get up, the black fool, right? And I'm just like, all right, this fool's he's gonna fucking punch him or something.
Yeah.
Fuck no, like, this fool just starts giving him head.
Oh,
And I'm just
fuck.
like, no, like, oh my god. And this is the crazy part.
Yeah.
Anybody who's been in YA knows that this kind of shit was happening. Let's say there was only 2 cops, and this was happening in the day room. We're supposed to be watching TV,
Yeah.
and these motherfuckers are giving head in the day room. And I'm just like in the table looking like, Jesus Christ, like, is this fool really getting head like
Yeah,
that?
yeah.
And I'm just like, fuck, man. So I'm just like looking away, like, whatever, you know. And he comes back, and you automatically know he's like,
Fuck.
and I'm just like, fuck, this fool's fucked. They're gonna
Yeah.
it's over for this fool.
Yeah.
So that's what happens. So now, once these fools see that weakness, they just start taking advantage
it,
of it. Everybody's fucking doing their thing with them.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, they start hooking
Yeah,
them up.
yeah.
And I'm just like, Jesus Christ. And I know because, you know, when somebody gets raped, they can't eat, you know? And I see him one day, and we all had to sit together because, like I said, I was in the area where, like, the outcasts were,
Yeah.
like, the gay guys, the
Yeah.
weirdos, you know, not because of I
No,
wasn't that
because
shit.
because they don't
but
want to
just-
let you in that.
I
Yeah.
couldn't be with the other crowd. So I had to be right here. And what's crazy is because, like, I'm kind of glad I sat there because I sympathize for those people, you know?
okay.
Well, because, like, if I would have been with the firme raza, who knows
You'd
if I
been
would have
attacking
been
those fools, fucking them up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I would have been just like them. I probably would have been. I mean, even though later on I still became a predator because the prey always becomes a predator. But it's just a different game, you know, the tables turn.
Yeah.
But, like, I would see that shit, and because I ended up becoming firme raza at the end. And, like, I made a lot of changes to that shit because I knew it wasn't right, fool. Like, it was like favoritism. It was like a lot of like homosexuality, raping, all that crazy shit.
And
I
that's
was
not supposed to be happening.
I mean, it was just like somebody would turn around, you know?
Fuck.
Like, people would just pretend like they're not taking cheeks, but everybody was taking cheeks.
Yeah.
They were taking cheeks all day long.
Fuck.
And I was just like, that's crazy. Like, how are you okay with that?
Yeah.
And what people didn't understand is, like, we're kids, you know? You might be doing that shit now, and then when you go to prison, oh, that shit was... You're getting stabbed left and right.
Yeah.
Like, it was all bad because the thing is, you're taking that shit, and it doesn't matter. People had some weird ass mentalities because we're little kids, and they're like, I'm not gay, I'm getting my dick sucked. I'm like, fool, that's
gay, though.
That's gay.
Yeah,
like, there's no ifs and buts about it. And worst of all, and I would tell them, like, the reason why I stopped all that crazy shit, well, it was a bunch of us. Like, the way we did it, and it's because I was always in Nixon. So Nixon was like the big lockup in YA. So that lockup is like where they sent the super fucked up people. So obviously I was always fucked up, and I was always there. And the thing is, the more you're around the chaos, the more comfortable you're around. So I was comfortable in the chaos. Like, I didn't mind, right? So like, let's go, fuck it. Like, I was always willing as long as it was for something. So when I get there, I start thinking, and I start reading. This is where my mind really fucking went off, you know, because I go to jail, and this guy gives me a book, right? It's always books, crazy books. I get this book, that one, right? So I get this book, and it just starts opening my mind, and I start thinking, like, damn, this whole time I've been fighting these fools, when in reality, what I could do is I already have a good name for me, and I know these people respect me. Like, what if I start just not preaching to them, but just telling them that there's something better out there for us, like trying to make it. And you know what they say, it's like a jury, you know, if 9 of those jurors find you not guilty, then it's a hung jury and you're good, there's a chance, you know. So that's what I started doing. I started putting it like little ideas out there, like, man, that shit fucking bullshit, your homie went through that, I went through that shit, like, fuck that, let's change it. But this is something that's been around since the 1920s, 1930s. This establishment had been established, so everybody was like, nah, we shouldn't change it. But I was like, yeah, look, most of us are gonna go to prison, fool. I said, so might as well, let's get ready. Let's fucking make it just homies, you know, where we couldn't fight in the open no more. You know, we couldn't obviously rape people. Black people couldn't own us, because the thing was, when I went to YA, and a lot of people deny it, but there was black people that had Mexicans under the guns, and the Mexicans would be like, oh, well, that fool's not Mexican. And I'd be like, fool, he's Mexican.
He is, they try to
regardless of what, he's fucking Mexican, dog. And if he's weak, we need to take care of him, you know. That's and the thing is, like, when I became Firma Raza, like, I did have people that I used to take care of, and people would be like, oh, well, you're no better than them. And I'll be like, fool, I did it so they wouldn't be fucked over, you know. I never charged them, you know. And even in my Instagram now, there's still people who message me like, hey, dog, I really appreciate what you did to me, you know, because I took that mentality to prison, you know. And when the thing about me, what helped me was that people go through the system, they think like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. But in reality, like, if it's meant for you, it's meant for you, you know. And what are you really doing it for? Like, ultimately, I did it for, let's say, just for us to be more comfortable, you know. Whether if it was in county, prison, wherever I went, like, I just wanted me and my culture to be good, you know. Whether if it was in a criminal element or in a regular element, you know. If I ate good, you ate good, you know. That's why so many people, like I said, they always message me, and they'll be like, hey, bro, thank you for, you know, those shoes you got me, you know, because I would always look out, you know. I wasn't one of those guys that was just all about me, you know, living large. You know, anybody that's with me in prison, like, I had old shoes, you know. I never carried new shoes, I never had brand new sweaters. I could have. And you know, instead what I would do is I would see people, and I was in Sentinel, and it was like super fucking hot. I'd be like, hey, homie, you need a fan? You got a fan? Nah, well, don't trip, we'll sell you, and I'll get you a fan right now. Boom, boom, boom. Why? Because I knew, like, when you have a friend on the side, he's gonna fight harder for you than just a regular guy, you know. So the more people you have by your side, the more protected you are from even your own kind, you know. Because people will be like, hey, fool, there's something's gonna happen. All right, cool. You know, hey, fool, so the cops are looking for you. Hey, so and so. Or even when it came to like the snitching element, a lot of people were getting snatched up. I never got snitched on for nothing. Why? Because I took care of my people, you know. And that's what people don't understand is, like, I get it, we're supposed to be criminals. I know we're supposed to, like, use force and all that, but there's a time and place for everything. And like I said, I thank God that I went through what I went through, because I learned to say less, act more, but make that difference, you know. Like everything you say, every word you comes out of your mouth, let it stand for something.
Because it all has power. The same tongue is so powerful and shit, you know.
And we don't think about it.
We don't think about this shit.
And we have to lead by example. You know, we have all these people that are saying crazy shit, but they're not willing to do nothing. You know, and me, I was one of those persons where whatever I said, I did. You know, like I never did drugs, so I wouldn't be like, oh yeah, let's go get high. I know I wouldn't do that. I'd be like, hey homie, let's go work out. That's a lot of people that were with me in prison knew that's all I did all day long, work out, boom, 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 all day. Hey, fool, you need a book? Fool, ahí te va. Hey, fool, you need visiting clothes? Fool, here you go. You know, like, because I think that's the ultimate goal, you know, to make that difference, you know.
Yeah, and that makes sense too. Like, let's say you do that shit to somebody, they're gonna turn around and do it to someone else because it felt good to receive that. They know what it feels like today. Did that book kind of influence you? The one about how to keep make friends?
Yeah. So it's by Dale Carnegie, and it did. Like, I read it when I was a little kid first, and then it's weird because the thing about me is, like, once I read a book, like, I want it again. So I'll pay anything. I don't give a fuck. Once I think about it, I was like, I have to have this book again. So the reason, and it's crazy because when I was in Corcoran, that fool Charles Manson had just got that book, and I can tell that fool, like, because you can't really chop it up like that because
when you're passing by on shit.
Exactly, because you're not supposed to really be fucking with people like that. I mean, now it's more lenient, you know, because of certain standards or certain guidelines they moved, whatever. But you couldn't really fuck with this fool.
I heard people will fuck with him when they would walk by and shit.
Yeah, well, he was little.
Piss him off and shit.
He was a little ass fool, little, like fucking 5'4".
Yeah, see, like people like that, like him, Hitler. I mean, it's fucked up what they say Hitler did, but I mean, to be that fucking little and have that much power to have motherfuckers kill for you, like these fools didn't kill nobody.
Exactly.
That's what I admire that. Not what they did, but the power, you know, because it's very like to be able to influence people like that.
Okay, so trip out. This is like, I'll share with you right now. So like me, I love hearing like radical speeches, like Malcolm X. I love Malcolm X. Hitler, if you go on YouTube, there's speeches that you can translate to English. And even though, like I said, it was for a fucked up cause, what he did, and I don't condone it, like, hey, that was right. You know, just you have to admire, like you said, the power of his mind, the power of the voice, you know. And that's what people don't understand is, like, we're over here like acting with
force and actions and shit.
We just could talk.
You just talk,
You could just talk and just make it sound better.
You talk your way into something, talk your way out of something.
Exactly.
You gotta know how to, and that's in your mind, the power of the mind. And only like intelligent people are gonna grasp that. Like see, you understood what I was saying because because he was so powerful, he was able to control people. So
he was an opportunist.
And
that if you're smart, you can grasp on it. Because I've heard some of his speeches, and I remember one of his speeches. He says that one of the soldiers, Hitler wouldn't even ask or force these fools to be Nazi. What he did is that he seen that Germany was broken and hurt over the war. They felt like failures. They had lost everything. So what did he do? He was in the war himself. So what he did is he seen the opportunity and said, hey, you know what? I'm gonna bring Germany back to being great. I'm gonna give you a reason to live, a reason to wake up. And he seen them with no clothes. So what did he do? Bam, put on the Nazi suit. Fresh clothes, fresh food, fresh everything. He gave you a reason, and that's what people do. If you can give a person hope, a reason for living, he's your fucking soldier forever. And that's what he did. But he was smart. Why? Because he has the reason, he has the motive, he has the Nazi things, but he needs an enemy. As any organization or anything, we need a common enemy. So the enemy had to be the Jews, and he found them, and that was it. You know. And what's crazy is that he tried to exterminate them. Let's say he did, almost did, But no matter what, look, at the end, he couldn't. He could not erase history, and his biggest flaw was because, like I said, I looked into this shit. He was going at it with Russia. So he had a treaty with Russia. So they're saying that guy from Russia, I don't remember.
Stalin?
Stalin was a realist and Hitler was an idealist. So Stalin thought that Hitler was a realist also. Like, he wouldn't fucking go against us. He's not that stupid. So they started, like, you know, fucking with each other more, splitting land. And at the end of the day, they're in a situation where Hitler has to fire on Russia and where Churchill's at, London, England. So Stalin is like, he's not that stupid. He's not gonna do it. But what Hitler would do is he would go to the woods, right? And this is what goes back to being in jail. The most people that are craziest or just more intellectual or just more need to be put away are the people who are put away. You know, they're put away for a reason. You know, they're not put away because they're killers or whatever. I mean, some of them are, and a lot of them will kill, but they're put away because society, prison, any facility knows, like, oh shit, this fool's deemed a threat he's a security threat. So that's what he did. He would go away from everything, grasp his thoughts, and be like, okay, so what I'm gonna do. So what he did is he attacked both of them. And he attacked both of them at the same time. Stalin was overthrown, but what fucked him up, and history will prove it, was that Germany was not prepared for the cold. If they would have been like more hooked up, they would have fucking won.
They say it was the cold.
They would have won, and just imagine the fucking world we would have lived in. It's crazy. But you know what they say? Like, there's a theory that they say that
that Hitler was doing like the Lord's work, because like the Jews, they killed God, or they killed Christ, right? And also look at who rules the fucking Hollywood and all that shit, and all the pedophile shit. Those are the fools doing it and shit.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's like a conspiracy theory.
No, I have heard of it.
You heard of that?
I've heard of it.
Crazy.
I've heard of it. And we'll just trip out on this. Let's say how that all started, right? But in the end, there's always been genocide between all races.
Yeah, all races. Yeah,
whether it was black or white or Mexican, like
when
even
they killed
us,
out the Aztecs.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Even us, we're slaves. So Spaniards. Because people over here like, oh yeah, we were slaves to them too. Hispanic, all these words come from Spain. We're descendants. That's why some of us are light skinned, some of us are dark. Yeah. Some of us have blue eyes. Yeah. We don't. Yeah. But it just, you have to really know your culture, and like people say that jail's bad, but to me it helped me. It helped me in an aspect where it taught me about my culture. It taught me to be proud to be a Mexican. Maybe I would have learned it out here too, but maybe not to that extent, And it wouldn't have gave me the endurance or the mind that I have now. Because like I was telling you earlier, like I my ultimate goal, and this is something that I'm working on, because like my goal, I have goals. Before I never had no fucking goal. Now, like I said, how I'm doing this whole comedy thing, I want to transcend from comedy to just joining more groups, making a voice for our culture, where I can go speak, because I want to speak. There's days that even my wife knows that I'll be hearing speeches all day long, Malcolm X, or just different speeches, Denzel Washington, motivational speakers, because like when you're in jail, people are reading like mob books and fucking like stupid books like that, which is cool. I used to read those fuck books, but
that's not gonna better you. You're not gonna learn shit.
Exactly. So what I would do is read self-help books. Why? Because not only is it gonna help you, but it's also gonna make you either a better person or a better criminal. You're gonna master whatever art you're in, whatever path it may be. So that's my goal, is to transcend to where I can speak, like how Malcolm X would speak, and like I'm working like on a speech right now that I'm speaking, that I'm working on, that I want to have, where, and I could close my eyes and envision where there's a bunch of us, and I'm just talking like boom, 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 like, because I know it's not just me. There's a lot of us that are tired of the way we get treated.
Yeah. And the thing is, the thing is too, like a lot of us are tired of it, but for the most part, as a race, people aren't willing to do shit about it. Yeah,
exactly.
Like
we just, but you know what it is? Because in Spanish they say que se conforman. We're conformistas. Yeah. We conform. If you want to pay me $10, I'll pay $10. Minimum wage is 15, but I'll work for 10. But it's from our culture.
That's what it is. Dude.
Yeah, we all settle. My mom settled. My dad settled. We're all settled.
No, it's true.
And now I'm in the aspect where I'm like, fuck it. Like I've been in jail for a long time, so it's like, what more could they do? And that's what I want to say. Like when I say, like, I know they're gonna bring up that I've been in jail, but I'm like, fuck it. That's why on all these podcasts I bring it up, so there's no hidden secret. Like, hey, I've been in jail. Who cares? 20-something years. Get over it. I look good. Get over it.
Yeah. That's true, man. So like with this whole, like, how long have you been doing the comedy for?
So the whole comedy thing, I've been doing it for like right now, like maybe 3 years, 2-3 years. So I'm still fresh, but like I've been doing pretty good.
Yeah, I've been seeing you're getting a lot of shows and shit. You had like 2 last week, huh?
Yeah, I had 2 the same day, and like I said, I like to go anywhere.
Yeah.
Like a lot of comedians won't go to like certain areas. I'm like, it's too ghetto. I don't give a shit. Wherever you tell me to go, whether it's 10,000 people or 10 people, I'm going. Why? Because I feel like that's what's gonna make your name, and I want people to know that I'm out there for, not only for me, but I'm just out there just, having a good time, and I don't hide it, like that's why when I went on Lucky's podcast, like I was drinking, smoking, I don't mind, because most people be like, oh, don't act like that, or don't do this, because what's gonna happen is when you do come up, they're gonna hold that against you. They're gonna fucking blackmail you.
You were never like that. What you weren't like,
So now I know, now people know that I can be serious, I can be funny, but I also like to party. Fucking George Bill Clinton was getting his dick sucked. He didn't hide it. Right or wrong, he fucking said it. I got my dick sucked. It's all bad. What happened? Everybody was like, damn, I got my dick sucked too. Like, that's right.
Yeah, they don't even like that fool. Like, they didn't make a big deal of that fool.
They don't even.
They didn't try to impeach him. All right.
See what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. So I feel like us as America, we want to hear that dirt. That's why these
honesty and shit. Yeah.
Like if you really look at YouTube, I was looking at it yesterday. There's so many fucking prison channels. You know why? Because people are intrigued by that shit. People are like, fuck. Even though they don't want to go, they just want to hear about it. And like you look at all these people talking about raping and crazy ass shit. They want to hear it. They don't condone it. They don't be like, oh shit, go rape. but they want to hear about it.
Yeah.
Like, oh shit, what are you listening to? Nothing.
Yeah.
And it's fucked up. But us as people, we just want to hear that. The juicier the story, the more scandalous, the more scandal. That's why you look at your channels. Every channel there is drama TV.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want drama, but you want to watch it.
You want to watch it though.
You want to watch it.
Yeah, you're right, man. That's a fucking point, huh? You don't want that shit in your life, but you like watching it.
Yeah, exactly.
Just like when you like seeing fucking fights.
Yeah.
Like
You don't want to fight no more.
I don't want to fight nobody, but hey,
you want to watch
that shit.
Yeah, you want to, and that's something else. Like, look at the YouTube now, or just the internet. I was watching something where this guy got hit, right? Fucking died on the spot, and people weren't saying like R.I.P. My heart goes out to the
laughing and shit or what?
They were like, oh my god, where can I see the full video? They took it down. Like, it goes to show you the society that we live in. Like, it's a fucked up society.
Yeah, it's fucked up, man.
And people say that it's the government. Yeah, the government takes a part in it, but it's us.
It's us, because we're willing to fucking accept it and stay on it and shit. You know what I mean?
Exactly. We give it 100 likes.
Yeah.
And we give these people, like these prison channels that are saying way out shit they shouldn't say.
Yeah.
We're giving them the likes. We're subscribing.
They're getting money by you watching that shit.
Fucking
you keep
money.
watching
They're
it.
getting money.
Yeah.
And it's fucked up because back in the days, it wasn't something that was spoken on or should be spoken on. And what it really comes down to is, let's say, society. So let's say the cops. Back in the days, there wasn't no SNY yards like that. There wasn't. Like, when I first started going to prison, it was just protective custody. That's all there was. There wasn't like no sensitive needs yard. Like, even the word sounds fucked up.
Yeah.
Sensitive needs.
Yeah.
What the fuck's wrong with you?
And what are those for?
So sensitive needs is for like somebody who's like a dropout from a different, let's say a different group they drop out, or they have a certain, like, say, risk at a certain prison. They have to go to one of those. But this is the thing, what people don't understand is that there's so many fucking prisons now, they have those yards that it's easier now. Like, fuck it, let's just go. That's good. Yeah, you tired? It's tired, let's go together. And that's what's fucked it up. So what people don't see, that it's the cops doing. If the cops opened up all these fucking prisons for these guys, so now there's a bunch of them, and it's transcending everywhere, And it comes from the culture, it comes from the music, it comes from just everything, It's everything in general. It's just more open, more spoken about, and it just shouldn't. But what can you do,
Yeah.
You just gotta just be you, just do you, run your program,
Yeah.
It's crazy. So it's a crazy time we're living,
Yeah, it is, man. Like nowadays, you fucking see somebody, like back in the day, let's say you see somebody getting fucked up,
just walk away.
Walk away, walk away.
Now automatically, me and my wife were at where we at? Santa Monica, no, the pier. Fucking fight breaks out, and me and my wife were just eating like nothing.
Yeah.
She's just enjoying her food. There was like 3 white guys, huh? They get us start recording. Like, 3 or 4 white guys, literally, oh shit. Yeah, and I'm just like, oh.
Before they would have called the cops, now they fucking record that shit.
These fools are fucking straight Facebook Live and shit. He's going live behind
when you see
fight.
the fools that are knocked down, they fucking walk up to you. Got fucking,
what
do they say?
You got knocked up.
What do they call that other shit though? There's like some video. It's like a black website. World Star.
Oh, yeah.
The motherfuckers knocked out, and they got the fucking phone in the face.
That's just crazy. It even give example that Food's Gone Wild. I don't know if you've seen it.
I see this.
Yeah, like there's so many people now that want to do it.
Yeah, just to come out on the fucking
just
thing.
to come out on the fucking. I know people that I kick it with that's their dream to be on Food's Gone Wild, and I'm just like, man, that's crazy, dog. I mean, I don't knock him because I've actually been in a same spot as him.
Yeah,
I did a comedy place and he was at the Comedy Store. Motherfucker's funny. He's funny as fuck. He's legit. And I don't knock it. Why? Because I feel like, he looks like me. He has long socks. He's a homie. Whether he is or isn't, whatever it is, make believe, who cares? I don't know. I don't know his person or his life like that. But I look at it like, for the ones that are homies, he's opening doors. He's helping us. He's making white America look at us better.
Yeah, because even the white people will fucking follow that shit,
Love
dude.
them.
You know what? Some homies are against that shit. They're like, he's making fun of our culture and this and that and shit. Like, they make fun of it anyways, huh?
Exactly. This is, and really think about it. This is one thing, because I had I'm telling you, I think of crazy shit when I'm sober. So I had a cellie who was a fucking Nazi, right? And so I love doing like theories. I love thinking of crazy shit. So one day I'm drawing something and he's looking at me. He's like, oh man, what are you doing? And I was like, I'm asking you a question, and I'm drawing like a straight graph, like fucking Excel. Fucking graphs and shit. PowerPoint type of shit. And he's just looking at me and, well, what is it? So I tell him, hey, let's just say this is the economy, fool. And there's Mexicans, there's whites, there's everything, right? All fields, construction, everything. And you know what I mean? This is what turns United States, the economy. You know, the import, export of the United States. That's feria. You know, that's how we survive. That's how we have our army. That's how we have everything.
Yeah.
Money makes the world go round.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I told him, you guys hate all races, right? Don't you want to send me back to Mexico? And he's like, yeah, fuck this and fuck that. I was like, okay, so you're going to send the blacks to Africa también? If we could, but we can't. Okay. What about the chinos? Send them too. Ooh. He's getting all pumped up. And I tell him, okay, let's say we cross them out, boom, Mexicans, cross them out, blacks, boom, cross all these people out. So just this right here, right? And he goes, yeah, he goes, that's the way it should be. White America. I was like, that's right. So that's your dream, right? And he's like, yup, one day, man. And I was like, really, do you think that's going to make the whole economy run? You think you could run the economy by yourself? And he goes, well, obviously it will be a smaller economy. And I said, the minute you get rid of all these people, I said, because in the World War I, World War II, there was blacks, dog. Yeah. There was Mexicans. They went over there to Vietnam, to Germany. Yeah. I said, white America's only so big, huh? I said, the minute that other countries like China, Russia find out that you're just this little piece, they're gonna crumble you down. Yeah. They're gonna stomp you guys out. And I said, do you really want to go pick strawberries? Are you really gonna be pumping gas? Are you gonna be doing the fucked up jobs that we're doing? He's all, oh. I said, exactly, fool. I said, so your dream and reality, what you got done, is a fucking nightmare. It's a nightmare, dog.
It is, man.
Yeah, that wheel will never turn, dog.
And that's good, dog. Yeah. You made him see that shit, you know? Yeah. He hung himself.
Yeah, it's crazy because that's their dream, fool. Yeah. Their ideal is to be white America.
That's never gonna fucking happen.
It's never gonna happen, dog. Yeah. And even if it does, just imagine other countries, fool, China, Korea. They're gonna come bomb the fuck out of us, dog. Even though we're strong, how strong are we gonna be, though? Yeah. If others, and let's just say if Mexicans and all these other groups, minorities, get smart, fool, and they reach out to these other people, I'm pretty sure they'll fucking
fuck yeah.
And then it'll just be all fucked up. That's why certain things like what happened to Malcolm X, that's why people stop this fool. Yeah. Because I was listening to this thing on Malcolm X where like it fucking made me trip out, man, because he had this speech, it's called The Ballot or the Bullet, where he's saying, like, you know, because everybody in the 60s was doing sit downs, like, let's go sit down, you know, let's sit in front of their business and let's go sit on the bus and not get up. And then he says, like, it's crazy, like it rang in my head all day long. He goes, what do you think of when you sit down? And I'm just thinking, like, oh, you're just chilling, like you're protesting. And he goes, fuck no. He goes, an old lady could sit down, a chump could sit down, you know, anybody could sit down. He goes, it's time for us to stand up. Damn. You know, and it fucking hit me.
Es cierto. Yeah. You know, like for me,
that's what we need.
There's another fucking conspiracy theory, but I think it's real. Fucking MLK, that fool. He was a fucking CIA agent, and he made those fools be weak and be meek and non-violent, right? And this other vato, Malcolm X, was like, "Fuck,
he was waking him up.
Necessary."
He was waking him up.
And for me, that fool's more of a hero because he, you know what I mean?
Exactly. I heard the same thing. The famous six. Yeah. And what I heard about Malcolm X was saying, it fucking tripped me out because I love coffee. I drink coffee every day, and he goes, every morning when you wake up, he goes, look at your coffee. It's strong and black. Anything that's strong and pure is strong, whether it's gasoline, whether it's drugs, whatever it is, it's strong.
Once you cut that shit with something.
Exactly. So that's what he said. He goes, once you add creamer, it's not as strong. It's not hot no more. You know, it's cold, and it doesn't even wake you up. It puts you to sleep. So they're saying, from agreeing to what you're saying, and I heard the same thing too, that all these people were designated to bring them down. And they were telling him, like, it even said in his speech where it said, you know, suffer, but suffer peacefully. And he's like, what kind of crazy shit is that? Like, and that's what they taught us. They taught us to suffer peacefully in prison. You know, in prison, they were doing some crazy shit to us. You know, they would cuff us to a toilet and get at the shit. And you're on camera. Now you can't do that because it's inhumane. You know, even when they would spread your cheeks and they, you know, that's all inhumane. But they were doing it. They were doing it for years. Now it's coming out to light and they're opening up and stopping and human rights and all that bullshit. But just imagine all the people that went through it. You know what I mean? And even getting to the Malcolm X thing, where I like his theories, not because, like, people say it's radical, but in reality it's just real. It's real. It's real because
that's how anybody would fucking react.
But like, we get used to being like the example that really tripped me out was like when you go to let's say the dentist. Let's say if they wouldn't drug you up, you'd want to sock that motherfucker,
Oh, fuck
right?
yeah, you feel that shit.
Exactly. But if they give you all this medicine, you suffer slowly.
You're just right there fucking taking
fucking
that
take
shit.
my tooth. It doesn't matter.
What happens to me, some instances, I'm so fucking big, they misjudge my weight, and I'm feeling that shit, dog. I'm all fucking, the tears coming out of my eyes. Like, you all right, man? Give me some more. Fucking.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That shit fucking hurts, man.
Yeah. But it happens to, and that's like what it all comes down to. Like what I'm saying is like, I want to make a change, dog. Like I was sharing with you earlier, where I want to start my own nonprofit, and I'm already reaching out to different people, you know, and I'm gonna call it Books, not Bunks, you know, because I feel like not only as Latinos but blacks too, you know, anybody who's a minority in any other country,
in the fucking system,
exactly, in the system, we get sent to the system, you know, and we want to give them books, which is like a good education, you know, about us. Like even like I said, my daughter was doing a paper on Mount Rushmore, and I was like, that's cool, baby, learn about that bullshit. But you know what, if you go to Mexico, there's temples over there, there's, you know, the pyramids, learn about your cultura también, you know. And she's like, well, it's not in the history books, and I was like, it's not gonna be in the history book, because fucking Billy Johnson said some shit about that. You know, they're gonna rip that page out, you know. So it's up to us to educate ourselves, get the knowledge that we're lacking, and just keep it going. Keep pretty much make a stand, you know. And I hope one day I'm part of it, though. I'm part of that difference, you know.
Well,
the elite to make a difference.
I think you just got to keep the mentality and just keep it going, you know. And I mean, you're going in the right direction and shit, you know. That's all that counts.
That's all that matters,
you know. And fuck, now you got the opportunity where you're cleared now, so. You know, fuck it. Just, I think it's up to us how far we want to go, man.
How far
seriously, you know. But sometimes people blame it on the white man or this and that. You make your own fucking. You make your own fucking.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like if you want to go, you can still go to school. You can do whatever the fuck you want to do.
Exactly.
And you gotta have that mentality. Strong people have that mentality. Weak people are gonna be like, oh my fucking victim.
Excuses. And fuck that. Fuck using that victim approach. And this is one thing I used to tell even people in prison. You know, they'll be like, oh, these fools hate us, and I'll be like, fool, they're jackasses. Fool, they have swastikas all over. We know they're our enemy, though. I said, if you really want to outsmart these fools, don't tell them you hate them. Fucking buy that fool coffee every day. Be nice to that motherfucker, so when you stab him, he don't see it coming. That's the way you should think, you know.
That's a stupid way. You're fucking showing your
you're flaunting it. You're telling everybody on the internet, I hate these guys, I hate that group, I hate this race. When in reality, you should just beat them with success, you know. Make a difference.
Fuck that's true, man. Fuck yeah, beat them with success.
That's the best way to do it, though. That's my goal.
That's a good one right there, dog. Well, we're coming to an end, man. This is like really, really good, man. If if we can set this up another time, this is really, really good.
For sure.
I know you got a lot more stories, and this was really,
all day
really
long
good for the people, man. So, and anything you wanna plug, where people can find you?
Pretty much, anybody that wants to follow me can follow me on Instagram. It's Young Beavez Comedy, Facebook Young Beavez Comedy, and I have some shows coming up. They're gonna be on my on my Instagram right there. And like I said, I just want to leave everybody with the message that, you know, to the world, you're one person, but to one person, you're the world. Meaning that you, that one person, no matter how little you are or how useless or how unimportant you feel your life is, you know, you can make a difference, you know? And I'm proof, you know? Went from con to comic, you know. I'm gonna make that difference. You know?
That's good. That from con to comic. That's a fucking good one right there. You know, you said you're like your plan too is to go like on a tour, to be on a lot of podcasts representing the.
Exactly. I wanna. So my thing is, this is gonna be one of them right here. So I'm gonna be doing 33 podcasts for the 33 prisons that are in the state of California. You know, which is crazy because if you think of it, United States only has 50 states. And there's 33 fucking state prisons in California. That's not including federal, that's not including private. So what does that tell you? That the odds are against us, but, you know, that doesn't mean that you can't win. You know, anything that we put our minds to and we get together and we put all our differences aside. No religion, no personal beliefs, just one common enemy, one common idea. We could win, you know?
Oh, yeah, dude, all day.
That's how we're going to do it.
All right, man. Well, thank you, everyone, for listening. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe. Thanks a lot, man. Peace.